Put on your party hats, people, 'cause we're in for a really fun time starting Spyro 2. It's gonna be great, let's go!
Is this rain ever gonna stop? I've forgotten what the sun looks like. We should go on vacation. Somewhere warm, somewhere sunny.
How can he not love that music?
Dragon Shores, yeah! I haven't been there since we kicked Nasty Nork's butt. How about it, Sparks? You up for a vacation at the beach? Last time there's a Nork!
Better hurry up, Sparks.
Is it working, Professor?
Almost. Just a few more adjustments to these orbs and...
Maybe this isn't such a good idea. Bringing a dragon here could just make Ripto more angry.
Calm down, Hunter, and stop fidgeting.
But you saw the professor's book. They have claws like this, and teeth like this, and they can spit fire like this. They sound much more dangerous than Ripto.
That's exactly the point. A dragon is our only chance of stopping Ripto, and you know it.
It's working! It's working! I've got a dragon!
Whoa, rough landing. Hi, which way's the beach? Hey, stop staring. Haven't you guys ever seen a dragon before?
You're a dragon?
You got a problem with that, pussycat?
Don't get so defensive, jeez.
Well, well, someone forgot to invite me to the party. Were you trying to keep something from me? A dragon? You brought a dragon to Avalar? I hate dragons. Yeah!
Uh-oh.
Crush! Kill it! Kill it! Go, you imbecile! You ate my scepter! I'll deal with you later!
Who was that jerk?
That was Ripto, and we have to get rid of him. He's causing all sorts of trouble around here, but I haven't got time to explain. Here, take this magic guide to Avalar. It'll help you begin to understand our worlds. Right now, I have to follow Ripto and see what he's up to. I'll meet you in Summer Forest, okay?
Hey, wait a minute! How do we get ourselves into these messes, pal?
So as you can tell just from that first cutscene, Ripto's rage is a lot more character-driven and story-driven than the first one. So let's just jump right into it.
Hi, Spyro! Welcome to Glimmer! Unfortunately for us, a mob of lizards just showed up and started stealing all of our gems. Can you stop them?
I can and I will. Just for you, Pogo. Oh yeah. And this is... Also, my god, when I was a kid, this really threw me off. Having an NPC that you could actually talk to in the game that doesn't attack you, that actually has like a text box. Something that was just completely new to Spyro at the time. But yeah, and as you can see, the colors are back, just so vibrant and just, they just pop so well, and the lighting is just so great, especially for a level like this that actually revolves around like harvesting gems. There's like gems all over the place and they're also shiny and luminescent. It's so cool. And also this guy continues the trope of having that one enemy cower before you at the very start of the game, and boop, there he goes. This guy not so much. He's actually kind of defensive. Yeah, so from that first cutscene, there's a... through, like, my god, how many new characters at you? 6? Just in that one cutscene alone? Yeah, there's a lot going on here. You can tell this is a much more... a much bigger and different world than the one that Spyro was used to. Because now, it's still pretty much fantasy-based, but just... They really expanded the horizons with what characters could be for this game. I mean, I did say before that the first game did have some of the more creative enemy designs, but here there's just... It's not just dragons, and that really... Just that alone really mixes things up in this game. I really do enjoy a lot of the level redesign. I mean, not the level, wow. I mean, I do, but boom, boom, boom. I really enjoy a lot of the character redesigns in this game. I think Hunter and Alora especially look really good. Hunter now has like this cool dude mentality that fits him oddly well. And Alora, I know that a lot of people aren't really on board with her design, especially facially, but I think she looks really good. Maybe a little bit off, but not so much as to actually distract her character.
Hi, Spyro. I'm a friend of Alora's, and she asked me to help you out. Whenever you find me, I'll remember your progress. Like this.
This is one thing that's consistent from the first game, is that fairies are always on your side.
That zap means that if you get into trouble, I'll return you to this place. See you around.
See ya. Get these lizards. Or not. Lizards! There we go. Another thing you might have noticed that's different is that the containers in which the gems are in are a little bit different. They're also just like the first game. There's wooden ones that you can flame and metallic ones that you can charge, but they look a little bit different. Not really sure why they decided to do that, but it works, I guess.
These gem cutters are a bit too short to climb these ladders. And it looks like you are too. After you learn to climb, come back to Glimmer to see me.
And that's another thing that the second game introduces, being able to learn new moves. And while there's only 3 of them that you can learn in the entire game, they're all like incredibly practical and actually get used quite a few times throughout the course of the game. So they don't just feel tacked on. And this level also introduces this guy. Everyone's favorite character that they love to hate.
You must be the dragon everyone's talking about. Well, dragon or not, I'm afraid there is a small fee to open the bridge. It will cost you 100 of your gems to cross.
This guy just drains you dry for the most trivial things, mostly level progression. Like, this is also the first game in the series which actually requires you to get to the end of every level. There isn't like a set amount of collectibles you need to collect, like, hey, collect so many gems, or hey, collect so many, in this case, in this level, orbs. You have to get to the end of each level and get something called, well, you know what, I'll actually let the game explain that. But for now, let's pay off this pompous ass.
Thank you, Mr. Dragon. Spyro, was it? You can now use the bridge whenever you want, free of charge. I hope we meet again. When you have even more gems?
Oh, yes, you best know my name, which is Spyro. Learn it well, for it is the chilling sound of your doom! You'll encounter Moneybags quite a few times. There are even some points in which she won't let you into certain levels in the game unless you pay him off. He is annoying. Go down here and get all these gems here, and another thing that you might have noticed is that the enemies don't drop gems anymore when you defeat them. They drop these, like, weird spirit things that kind of whiz around a little bit. And I'll get to those just a little bit later. Here, I have even more gems. You happy now? One thing that I'm really glad they added to this game is that you can actually attack him now! He holds on to his sack of gems like he's... My god, this is my baby! How dare you even get close to it! My gosh! You're unscrupulous!
To get a good look around, press the action button. Try using action to look around this cave.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, this cave does look really cool, but there, I did it. Give me a prize. And there we go. You'll know you reached the end of the level when you see an NPC standing next to the level's banner. Let's talk to this guy.
Spyro, thanks for helping us fight off the lizards. Please take this talisman of Glimmer as a sign of our gratitude.
And this is what you get at the end of every level.
This magic portal next to me will take you to Summer Forest, one of the homeworlds of Avalar.
That's all well and good, but I don't want to go there yet, so you can just sit pretty for a little while longer while I go over here. Into this other wide open area. Did that ladybug just land on that lizard? Good lord, you guys are hardcore. Well done. Did my job for me. I'm not complaining. You want to go around the light post, Spyro. My gosh. Right, now you know how I kept on saying in the Let's Play of the first game that 2 and 3 were a lot more task-based? Exhibit A.
Great! The Superfly power-up is active, and you can restart our gem lamps. Flame all the lamps quickly, and the big gem lamp will light. The power-up will give you enough magic to fly for a short time.
Yeah, it will. Just like so. And this really sets the sequels apart from the first game, because in the first game it was all about just exploring and pretty much doing the same thing over and over, just with different enemies and a different layout. Here you actually get to do a variety of minigames and activities that really just gives the game a whole lot more value. And gives what you do a bit more meaning, I guess.
You light the lamp, Spyro. A fairy gave me this orb, but I like gems better. You take it instead.
Thank you. And at first the game doesn't really give you a whole lot of explanation about what orbs are, or even what helps activate this power-up. Though I do think it's pretty cool that you can just now fly around the level, which was only possible in certain levels of Spyro 1. But I suppose I should explain how the power-up activates. You know those spirit things that the enemies drop? Those are called spirit particles. And if you defeat enough enemies, then they'll actually activate the power-up in that area, which Superfly isn't the only power-up in the game. Each level in Spyro 2 has its own unique power-up that you can use if you defeat enough enemies. And these, like, 2 pyramids here, which the power-up is actually in, I guess. If you haven't defeated enough enemies, the 2 pyramids will actually say in between how many enemies you need to defeat in order to activate it, which is pretty handy. Also, what is this guy doing? Chucking rocks?
These little lizards have eaten my entire crop of gems. I've tried hitting them with rocks, but they're too fast for me. You can try using one of my rocks. If you have any questions, just ask me.
And thus we get to learn yet another new mechanic. Look at those pudgy little cheeks. My god, he's adorable. You can actually fire projectiles from Spyro's mouth, just like this.
Nice shooting. Follow me to the next lizard.
I love how it's just a rock, and yet, because it's coming out of Spyro's mouth and he's a fire-breathing dragon, the rock actually explodes upon impact. It's kind of a neat little touch, I guess. This guy kind of just runs away really fast, and if you don't pay attention, he kind of runs away from you.
You can spit pretty far, Spyro. See if you can spit all the way to the lizard.
Oh, I think I can. Oh my gosh. That almost went in like a straight line, too. Yeesh. Spyro's pretty good at spitting. Also, did I miss gems over here? Nope, I got him. I just have a terrible memory. However, there are gems around this corner.
To hit that lizard up high, you'll have to aim. Press the action button to aim, then press the attack button to spit.
You know how first-person view was kinda sorta pointless in the first game? Here, see, there's a little bit of a crosshair on our screen now. Bam! Nice and precise. Just the way I like it. Follow this guy. His bounce is so little cute. Now there are gems up here, but we unfortunately are not able to get to them. I mean, we kind of are if we utilize an exploit, which I'm not going to. But you'll soon figure out that this is the first game in the series to feature honest-to-goodness backtracking. Like you saw over there, that gem cutter said that I need to learn how to climb in order to get up there, and there are gems in another orb challenge up there. Which means I need to go to another area so I can learn how to climb from someone and then come back. And there are a few levels like that in this game, and also in Year of the Dragon. Where are you taking me? My gosh. You're taking me for a ride, yo! Here we go. Oh my god, that landed right in my gullet! That's just how I do sometimes. This guy moves around a lot. Ugh. I shot you right into the sun! How's that feel? And then this guy over here is just a tad tricky. Just wait for him to not move around. Wait for him to move and then strike! Easy.
Yay! You've saved my crop of gems from the lizards! Here, take this orb. Some girl with wings dropped it here yesterday.
Ta-da! Love that little fireworks effect, too. Alright, and we have actually done everything that we can in Glimmer right now. So let's go on over to the Return Home portal. This is actually, to my knowledge, the only game in the series that actually drops you in a world at the start of the game that isn't one of the hub worlds. Kinda weird, but sure.
Oh no! Oh, hello. We didn't get a chance to introduce ourselves before. My name is Alora.
Hi. I'm Spyro. What are you, some kind of goat?
I'm a fawn, you dork.
Oh, sorry.
Did you meet the gem cutters in Glimmer?
Yeah, they gave me a souvenir too. They called it a talisman.
They gave you a talisman?
What, is it special? I just stuck it in the guidebook you gave me.
Well, there are 14 talismans in Avalar, and they are all magical. If you can collect enough of them, they can be used to defeat Ripto.
Sweet.
Hunter, where have you been?
Oh, I got a little lost.
Spyro's gonna help us collect the talismans.
I am?
He is.
Spyro, look. There's no way you can get to Dragon Shores right now. Ripto and his monsters have taken over the castle here in the Summer Forest. You're going to have to go to Avalar's worlds and convince the inhabitants to give you their talisman. You can keep them in your guidebook.
Hey, I could do that. Why doesn't the dragon just torch Ripto?
Hunter, you can't even keep track of your running shoes. How can we trust you with 14 talismans? And orbs, they're important too. But I'll tell you about them later.
Okay, no problem. I'll collect a few talismans, give Ripto the old hot foot, and be in Dragon Shores by lunchtime.
My gosh, the cutscenes in this game are almost indistinguishable from like a CG Disney Pixar movie. It's really impressive. And thus we come to the first hub world, Summer Forest. This game, even though it has a lot more tasks and a lot more to do and a lot more characters, there aren't quite as many levels as there are in the first game. But, you know, it kind of makes up for it with added variety. There are only 3 hub worlds in the entire game, as opposed to the 6 that were in 1. But don't let that discourage you. This game is just, it's rock solid. I love it. And I love the music, too. It's so serene. Makes me feel at peace with nature. While we go for a lovely swim in the stream. I feel so refreshed. Alright, Laura, what's up? Now, cute little shrug there.
Spyro, this is the homeworld called Summer Forest. There are portals to many of the Avalar worlds around here. Unfortunately, Ripto has taken over the castle, and we need your help. Start by retrieving the talismans from each of the worlds you visit.
Will do. And that is the reason why we have to go to, all of the worlds in, you know, the hub world, all of the levels, all of the portals, I should say, and get to the end so we can get the talisman. If you collect all of the talisman, in the hub worlds, then they'll unlock the boss. Which, yeah, unlike the first game, you actually have to fight the boss at the very end of the hub world to unlock the next one, whereas in the first game, you can just go fight the boss whenever you want, with the exception of Artisans and Nasty's world. And hey, Hunter's all of a sudden here.
Hey, Spyro. Ripto smashed this bridge, so I guess you'll have to glide across it. Press the jump button, then press jump again while you're still in the air to glide.
Like I said, I really like what they've done with Hunter's design, and his voice, too. He's definitely not voiced by the same guy. And he has much less of a condescending tone to... Oh my god, he's gone. I kind of want to replay this part, just so I can, like, have the camera facing away from me while I glide over here, so I can just watch him vanish into thin air. Oh well. He had a very condescending tone in the first one. He talked very slowly. Press the jump button once, and then press it again in the air to glide. And this one, like I said, he has more of a cool guy attitude, and, dare I say it, kind of a stoner mentality, which is a bit of a running joke in the Spyro fandom, that he's kind of a, he likes his puff puff puff.
Sparks, the dragonfly following you around, is your health indicator, Spyro. The brighter he is, the more hit points you have.
Yeah, we kind of have a bunch of characters tell us what we already know from playing the first game in a very tutorial-type fashion. Now, there are a couple portals that we can choose from here. Idle Springs and Colossus. I'm not gonna go to either of them for right now. I'm gonna fool around a little bit more. These two cheeky gems hiding behind the portal. As you can see, you can kind of see, like, glimmers of gems below the water. That's also another thing, is that I didn't even address it at first. Spyro can frickin' swim now. If you see water that's, like, bright blue and kind of clear, that means he can swim around on the surface. However, no matter what button we press, he's not gonna go under. And that's where Moneybags comes in.
Sorry, Spyro. I'd love to teach you how to swim underwater, but not as much as I'd love to take your treasure.
Mm-hmm. You were wondering which character teaches you these moves? It's Moneybags, and he'll only teach them for a small fee. His words. A small loan of 1,000,000 gems. And unfortunately, there is not enough gems here in this area of the hub world, which is the only part of the hub world that we have access to right now, to pay him off. Which means we actually have to go into one of these other worlds in order to get enough gems. But we'll do that just a little bit later. For now, let's get this gem that's over here that I missed, and also talk to Mr. Teleportation over here.
Hi, Spyro. You look like you're pretty agile. Let's try putting it to a test. See if you can get up this first step. Press the jump button and hold it down to get more hang time.
He pretty much just gives you an X button tutorial. Just jump, hold it down, so you kind of do a little bit of a hop. If you just tap it, but then you hold it down. Whoa!
Okay, not bad. Now to make this next jump, you'll have to glide. Press the jump button, then press jump again at the top of your jump to get the maximum glide distance.
Just like so. Easy. Give me something difficult, would ya?
Nice job. Now try to do a hover. Press the jump button, then press jump again to glide. When you reach the end of your glide, press the action button to hover. Hovering will give you extra height and distance.
Now, if you remember in the first game, if you press the triangle button in the middle of a glide, you'll just plummet straight down. But here, you're able to do this, and it's really, really useful.
Very good. Now for the hardest leap of all. You'll have to give this one everything you've got. Get a walking start, jump, glide, and hover just before you get to the edge of the platform. Don't forget to press forward on the left stick when you hover.
Oh, I won't. And this glide really isn't that hard. You're just gonna go, and then boom, you're done.
Wow, you're a pretty good athlete. If I hadn't lost my running shoes, I'd take you on for real. For now, here's an orb for your collection.
Now, orbs are kind of a secondary collectible next to talismans, but collecting them does unlock a few areas of the world a little bit later, and they'll also come in much more handy by the end of the game. But more about that once we actually get close to the end of the game. For now, let's go to Colossus. This is another really cool thing that Spyro 2 introduced. With every level that you enter, with the exception of Glimmer, there's a nice little prologue cutscene that gives you an idea of the struggle that the NPCs are going through. And they're all really well done in this version, and really, really funny. Yeah, just sacrificed a goat, we're fine. Oh wait, oh god! Bobby? What happened to you, man?
A Yeti has been rampaging around our home, but we've managed to trap him by shutting all the doors. If you talk to the other brothers, they will open the gates and guide you to him.
Okay, I understand you're a monk, but shouldn't you maybe have a little bit more urgency in your voice? You seem oddly chill with the fact that your people are basically getting slaughtered. Get these goats. Whatever floats your goat. I love how it still sustains the whistling sound if you happen to charge an enemy off a ledge. It's so great.
By concentrating, I should be able
That was
to
kinda
open
weird.
this door for you.
I love that. And also, if you talk to them again, they tend to say some funny things.
The door's open. Leave me alone. I'm trying to meditate.
Here's some meditation for you. Blech. Now, one thing that I really like about this game, oh god, is that with all of the hub worlds in the first game, they all kind of had a common theme in terms of location. Like, the Artisans was like this dense meadow and forest, and Peacekeepers was a desert area, and oh jeez, Magic Crafters was like this icy mountain. Here, there really isn't a running theme in between the levels. They're just kind of their own world, in a sense, that really sets them apart from all the other ones, with a few exceptions.
Who needs a key when you know how to chant like this?
Like, for instance, there's a couple levels in the next home world which are at war with each other, and you kind of like play a double agent and help each side, which is really cool. But other than that, all of these levels are like entirely unique, which really helps let the imagination fly.
How am I supposed to achieve enlightenment if you keep pestering me?
See, that guy, you could sense a little bit of annoyance in his voice. Come on, guys, get mad.
Enemies like those yaks are too big to be charged. Your flame attack should easily take care of large enemies.
And yeah, Zoe's kind of annoying, but don't worry, she's not going to spew tutorials every single time you encounter her. Only in the first few worlds or so. Ooh, double whammy. I like it. I've said before and I'll say it again, yakety yak, don't talk back.
Each time you defeat an enemy, it will release a spirit particle. The spirit particles will activate the power-up in that world. If a power-up isn't active, you need to defeat more enemies.
And see what I mean? The number of enemies that I need are actually right here. And if I walk through it, it'll tell me how many enemies I have defeated. Very useful, no? Get out of my way, penguin. I know you're my favorite animal, but don't be like that. Don't be annoying. And I love this. Nice little detail. All of these pictures from, like, even that right there is, like, from the Artisans world in the first game, and then these are essentially, I don't want to say selfies, but let's say self-portraits of all of these monks just in their travels. It's a nice little, just a welcome little addition. There's a lot of that going around in this game. Probably also wondering what these statues are, and they will come into play just a little bit later. I promise you that. What do you do?
Hey, look what I can do.
Someone else remember that from Mad TV. Look what I can do! Down!
How can you be sure I really exist?
Because I can do this! But then, how do I know that I really exist and that I'm able to charge into you? You're not about to give me a midlife crisis at 28. course, here is Zoe again with the overbearing tutorials of something that we already have learned in this game, let alone the first one.
Remember Hunter's advice. You will glide farthest if you press the jump button again at the very top of your jump.
See, she even acknowledges that someone else has already taught me how to do this. It's pretty pathetic, honestly. She just wants someone to talk to. She's lonely. She's a crazy cat lady. But where's the last one? There you are. What the heck were you doing? Where were you going? We're kind of just moseying around in a circle. Love that too, like all this debris of like a bridge over there. Like really lazy patchwork done to it. It has seen better days. Oh. Ah, cheeky. Alright. It is time for the first sub-boss of the game. That Yeti right there. Oh my gosh, it's like the second level in and they're already throwing me a boss? My gosh.
Even though I'm a vegetarian, I think you should torch that Yeti. He's pretty tough, though. In fact, I'm not sure you're up to it.
Well, if you're not sure, then, gosh, I'm having second thoughts myself. Oh, God. Oh, God. He's scary. Please don't hurt me. Oh, my God. And he's dead. And he's gone.
I thought the Yeti was tougher than that. I guess he was all bark. Ruff, ruff. Anyway,
God.
I was just guarding our sacred talisman to make sure the Yeti didn't eat it.
How can you not both love and cringe at that line? Ah, brother. Oh, brother, because they're monks, so it's funny. There's a secret area through this window here. Secret window, secret garden. Secret ice rink. And I do mean that quite literally. This is an ice rink. The ice physics in this game are actually not too bad. I was really worried that they would kind of fudge up the ice physics like they did in the Insane Trilogy, but this one, it feels alright. Don't really have much to complain about here. Not looking forward to this challenge.
Ah, Spyro, welcome. We have found that hockey is a peaceful and calming sport.
Nope.
Would you like to join in a match against our goalkeeper?
What kind of hockey have you been watching to call it peaceful and calming? People usually go there just to see them knock each other's teeth out, dude.
You have 2 minutes to score 5 goals in the red goal.
Can I do it? Place your bets now. This challenge is a bit annoying, especially the fact that it's a two-parter. I feel like this challenge was made a little bit... Oh my god, catch up to the puck, Spyro. I feel like this challenge was made a little bit more annoying in this one, because the goalie is a lot more responsive, and his hitbox is a lot smaller. Actually, his hitbox is a lot bigger, I should say. There's a bigger chance that the hockey puck will knock into him rather than the goal. But, get it just right. Should be able to do it. And if you're lucky, once in a while the puck will actually gravitate towards him at the beginning of the round, and he'll knock it right into your mouth. Just like that, and then BAM! Easy goal. I love it. God, he's certainly dramatic like a hockey player, that's for sure. Yeah. And boop.
Well done. Have this.
Oh, I shall. And there's part 1 of this challenge complete.
Would you like to try a game of one-on-one?
Not really, but I kind of have to, don't I?
The first to score 5 goals wins. You are shooting at the red goal. Off you go.
And then there's this guy. Now, there is no time limit for this, but this challenge is stressful for a couple reasons. One, this guy is constantly on your ass. You can flame him to incapacitate him very temporarily for like maybe 2 seconds. But he's pretty obnoxious, and once he like, bashes into you, then you automatically spit out the puck if you have it. But another reason this is annoying, especially for die-hard completionists, is that there's a skill point for completing this... God darn it. For completing this challenge without letting your opponent score a single goal. Yeah, it's harder than you think. Especially in this version of the challenge. If he does end up getting a goal, then I'm not going to beat myself up too much about it. I'm not going to try to get perfect immediately after, but, you know. Once I'm actually done with the main game, I'll probably just go back and get all the skill points I missed if there are any. Yeah. Looking good so far, although I don't want to jinx myself. Which would probably just jinx myself by saying I don't want to jinx myself, because that's just the way the universe works sometimes. Okay, we're good. We're still looking pretty. Looking gorgeous, darling. Looking fabulous. Looking so happening in skill point got.
Well done. Have this. If you stare at it long enough, you might not see anything.
I mean, you're probably right about that. But yeah, I did a little bit better at that challenge than I thought I would, especially with the pressure of hosting a Let's Play. So go me. Looks like I got all the gems around here. So, let's backtrack a little bit. Alright, so now we're back outside the area that has the return home portal. But there's still a little bit left to do in this level. You can see now that the power-up is active, and this power-up allows us to bounce up here. Kind of acts the same way as a whirlwind, except it actually needs to be unlocked by defeating enemies, which is kind of cool. And in some instances, it also creates a shortcut. See, there's another one down there that if I fall down, I don't have to ride like the tiki head in the temple back up again. And oh, what is going on over here? Professor, you okay, dude?
Thank goodness you scared that evil spirit away. But now it will hide in the statues. If you were to flame all 10 statues, I'm sure you would chase it away for good.
And now we know what those statues are all about. And this challenge can be a bit tricky for newcomers, because there are some statues that are hidden fairly well. They look so evil now. Instead of a hockey stick, they're holding a freaking dagger. I like it. Like, for instance, this area over here is a bit well hidden. Go into here, you see an ice cave with a statue. Lovely. Oh my god, I love the reflective effect it has too. So neat. I just want to live in here. It's so calcified. And, oh wait, not over here. Over here is where I want, because another one. One thing that they kept from the original game is these rockets here. They're a lot bigger in this game and a lot easier to spot, but you can still flame them, and they still open up lockboxes. Just like so. Awesome. And usually in the original there was a problem with if a lockbox that was on one of these kinds of platforms was destroyed, some of the gems would fall off, but it's usually not a problem in this version, which is very, very convenient. And yeah, even though I have the power-up activated, I still like to defeat enemies because, you know, it's fun to kill things. As dark as that sounds. Oh, hold on, I think I might have missed a statue over by the hockey rink. Let's go there really quickly. Love how you can kind of jump up and then... Well, that backfired. I was gonna say you can jump up from the big bounce power up into a glide, so you can get, like, extra airtime. Kinda cool. Yep, I know I missed it. Glad I came back. And the reason why I got that one first is because once you get the last statue that the professor wants you to flame, you're automatically teleported back to him so he can give you an orb. So it makes sense that, ooh, Mr. Gem. Oh, clever girl. So it makes sense that the last statue that you want to flame is the one that's furthest away from the professor. That way you don't have to travel around as far. These two right over here are the last two, and then I'm warped right back to the professor.
Well done, Spyro. You've scared the evil spirit away. Why don't you take this? I borrowed it from the temple. They don't need it.
Sure they don't. You essentially just robbed a religious people of a holy artifact. How do you live with yourself?
I'm glad that evil spirit is gone. It was giving me the heebie-jeebies.
Heebie-jeebies, huh? I actually think this game is the first time I ever heard the phrase heebie-jeebies, and now it's like a typical part of my vocabulary. My wife's vocabulary, too. I actually think I hear my wife say it a lot more than I do. So yep, there's that this level complete. All of the gems, all of the orbs, and the talisman. Which means we can return home. Another thing I should mention is that not only do all of the levels have prologues before you enter them, but once you collect the talisman, there's also a bonus epilogue cutscene. Let's check it out. Sounds like he's trying to imitate dubstep. No, it's Wingardium Leviosa, not Leviosa! Yeah, all of the cutscenes in the original game did have great comedic timing, but like a great comedic concept, but with the technology that they had in their disposal back then, they didn't quite nail it. I mean, it made you laugh, but you know, you got the general idea of what kind of humor they were going for, but with this, the slapstick just really pops in, like, their facial expressions and their animations and the sounds that they make. It's probably my favorite part of the entire trilogy, is the opening and closing cutscenes of each level in Spyro 2. They're just... they're so wacky and so just slapsticky. Great comedic timing.
Hello there, Spyro. Would you like to learn to swim underwater? I suppose I could teach you for a small fee.
Well, that's what you always say.
Great. Okay. When you jump in the water, you can use your left stick to move around the surface. Use the charge button to dive underwater. When you're underwater, use the jump button to paddle and charge button to charge.
Pretty basic stuff. He pretty much just charges you because he's a greedy son of a gun. However, we are not going to swim around in that area quite yet, nor are we going to go to Idle Springs. We're actually going to backtrack a little bit to an area that I kind of drew attention to when I first entered Summer Forest. Now Laura's going to talk to us again. Actually, no, she isn't, not unless I press the triangle button. If you follow the stream over here, it actually leads to a little pond that you can swim in. And swim in it I shall! Dive, Spyro, dive! Alright. This leads into a tunnel. We go into the tunnel. And what do we find? A secret staircase, which leads to another orb. Excellent. And there's that. And now that that's done, let's actually go to Idle Springs. And the reason why I chose to do Colossus over Idle Springs first is because Idle Springs actually has an area that requires you to learn how to swim underwater to get some extra gems and an extra orb. So, let's do that now. Uh-oh. Light bulb. Forever alone. What would you have me do?
Spyro! The idols we were carving have come to life. They've locked us out of our temples and stolen our food.
Oh my god, that sounds terrible. Someone should do something. Oh wait, that person is me. Darn it. Now, as a lot of you may know, this is the first level of Spyro 2 that was revealed for the Reignited Trilogy, and when it dropped, people lost their minds because, so much lush green, and the reveal of these characters over here. By the way, these guys look awesome. They fit the tone of the game really well. And everything just comes together and just made my inner child just weep tears of joy. When I first saw this, I almost, honest to goodness, started crying because it just looked so flippin' amazing. And seeing this level just gave me confirmation that, yeah, this remake is in good hands. Toys for Bob knows exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what the Spyro fans want. And by goodness did they deliver with the rest of the game as well. Now, this is why we learned how to swim underwater before coming to this level. So we can access this area under here, which triggers a 3-part challenge that only yields us 1 orb. Might as well just do it.
I've been locked in here with all our tools, and the giant idol heads won't let the workers in unless we can solve the 3 puzzles they've given us.
I love how it has a New York accent now. New York, Boston, somewhere in like the New England region, but they nailed it with this.
The first puzzle is to turn all these blocks yellow. If you have trouble, come back and talk to me.
And this one is really, really easy. I mean, it's kind of complicated. Like, which ones do we go over here? I'm not really sure. But it's actually really easy. Just step on these to make them change color. And the one that you step on turns off. And the 2 that are surrounding it on either side either turn off or turn on depending on, their current state. This is actually really, really simple and straightforward. Because all you gotta do is just step on all of these corners and it'll just solve the puzzle automatically. Just like that.
Wow, Spyro, you did it! I knew you could do it.
Sure.
Now, meet me at the pond for the next challenge.
Now see, this challenge here doesn't make sense because the objective was to turn all the blocks yellow, but as soon as I did, I turned them all green, so I failed you. I'm sorry. Alright, now let's go down here. Meet me by the pond, he says. And... impossible! How did you get here before us?
This idol says he's hungry and won't be satisfied until he's swallowed 10 fish. He's got a sensitive stomach, so watch what kind of fish you feed him.
Yes, he does. And for this part of the task, you want to stand completely still and just watch these fish as they come out. And then flame them right into the idol's mouth. And yes, watch what kind of fish you feed him, because if you feed him a red one, then he barfs 3 of them out. So you kind of gotta... it's a test of reflexes, reaction time, and just knowing when not to have an itchy trigger finger. And if you direct the camera just so you kind of see what kind of fish are going to pop out before they even do, which makes this challenge a bit easier. Look at that, we didn't even encounter another red fish.
Okay, Spyro, just one more puzzle to go. I'll meet you over by the colored stones for your final challenge.
And we haven't really seen any colored stones yet, so let's progress through the level and, well, find them. You're welcome, I saved you. You're so grateful. I can tell, I can see it in your eyes. There we go, that's what I wanted you to do. Oh my gosh, calm down, dude. Jesus, how many times are you gonna do it? Was that 11? My gosh, you probably just gave yourself a concussion. Yeah. And this game employs the same mechanic that all the big enemies need to be flamed. All the ones wielding metal armor, like this guy who's using like a freaking metal grill cover as a shield, they gotta be charged. I also like the fact that he's using a kebab as a weapon. He actually did in the original, too. Alright, what overbearing tutorial do you have for me today, Zoe?
Those metal shields are making enemies invulnerable to your flame attack. If you press and hold the charge button, you can defeat them with your charge attack.
You said literally what I just said. Thank you. I am now armed with the power of knowledge. I don't know if it's just me, but in this level in particular, the grass just looks incredibly lush. It's probably because the entire level has kind of a green tinge to it. Makes it look so alive. I like it. Have you ever heard a death rattle before? It changes you, man. I know that, my friend Josh, who's in quite a few of my videos, encountered a glitch that after he, defeated this enemy that was running around the rock over here, the NPC that was supposed to open the door, I think, like, got stuck on this rock. Either that or he got stuck on these steps and wouldn't jump up, so he kind of had to restart the level because that kind of soft-locked him. Fortunately, I haven't had that happen to me. Love these tree trunks right here. They have like a bit of a glow to them. Is there like something on the bottom that's making them glow? It's hard to tell. Either way, it looks really cool. Some things just don't need to be explained to be cool. And that is one of them.
Camera left or right, use the right stick.
Like I've been doing this entire time. I thought it was just moving on its own. Oh my gosh. I thought that it was just moving with every word that I said in a way that really kind of makes sense. But it was me doing it this whole time. What a twist! I've learned the error of my ways, Zoe, my gosh! Yeah! Get this guy over here. And look at that, we found some colored stones in Four-Man Bud.
If you jump on these stones in the correct order, you will solve the puzzle. I only know what the first one is. It's up to you to figure the rest out.
Now this one may seem a little bit complicated at first, but the solution is really simple. Just find similarities in between the stones. Like this one has a star in the middle, as does this one. This one over here has the same octagonal shape. This one over here is orange. This one over here has a crescent moon. And this one is a triangle. Bam, done.
Nice job, Spyro. You're pretty smart for a dragon. All I have to give you is this shiny thing I found in our toolbox.
I like shiny objects. Oh, so shiny. Now the downside to this is that we were warped all the way back to the beginning of the level, so we have to do a little bit of backtracking. Now we're back here. And for our efforts, we're awarded with a pretty thing.
Spyro, you're pretty tough. If you ever want a permanent job, we've got a place for you here. But for the moment, I want you to have this talisman.
You better hand over the goods. Look at it, it's so pretty. Oh, that shade of green is like really, really visually appealing to me. My favorite color may be blue, but I think it just, I mean, it makes sense. Pretty sure it's called jade green, which, you know. Now we do have the talisman. However, there is still another orb challenge and a whole bunch of gems we need to collect. Right over here. Zip. have we found ourselves? Oh, ooh, looks like there's some stuff going on down here. Like, you're kind of weird and you're not attacking me, but I just have this inner desire to murder you. Can you tell me how?
It's fabulous to see you, Spyro. Now that the supercharged power-up is active, you can charge through the pedestals and send the dancing hula girls over here to help me.
Sweet. So, sure, a lot of you remember how Supercharge works in the first game. In this one, it's a little bit different. This one is actually a power-up that's activated with spirit particles, so you don't really have to go down a slope in order to activate it. You just need to charge through these pyramids here. Now, this challenge requires a little bit of steering prowess. You need to get all of these pedestals all in one go, which may take a couple tries. Good way to do it is to use the D-pad to steer so you can steer a little bit wider, and bam, done. Challenge that goes by pretty quickly, but may take a couple tries.
Look at that. The hula girls' ring dance blew up that idol like a Roman candle. Now I can pursue that dancing career I've dreamed of. Take this orb. It could help you go places.
I mean, that's what orbs are meant to do in this game, so you're really not wrong. They're all so joyous now. They're so happy to be free. It's so endearing, so cute. Makes me feel good for helping people. Oof. Something stuck in my throat today. Alright. We still have an entire area above the level to explore. Now you may notice that all of the levels that we've 100%ed so far, they all have 400 gems. And that is because every single level in this game, even like the flight levels and the hub worlds, all have 400 gems. It's a set amount for every single level, which I think is kind of weird, honestly. And there's also a skill point for gliding over to this big idol, which is easier if you charge into it. But there it is. And also I missed a gem down here. Oof. I mean, we do have the gem finder, but I'd rather not backtrack too much if I can help it. But yeah. I kind of enjoy the unpredictability of the amount of gems that you could collect from the first game, because any given level could range between 100 and 500. And that, you know, it didn't really add a whole lot to the unpredictability, but it was just like a... I don't know, it added some... It added a je ne sais quoi to the game, if you will. This one having everything set at 400 just, I don't know, kind of ruins the excitement, honestly. They did fix it a little bit in Year of the Dragon, but not a whole lot. Now there's a rocket here, but where's the lockbox? Let's see if we can follow the rocket and see where it goes. What? And there's a pedestal hidden right behind this giant idol head. Should be the rest of the gems. Maybe a few of them fell down here, which is fine. And there we go. Idle Springs is all done. And again, since we are at the very beginning of the level, we might as well just exit the level from the pause menu like we usually do. Let's do that. What? I thought I killed you! If you can't beat 'em, join 'em.